So what is high performance coaching, and how does that differ from mentoring or consultancy? In the first instance, coaching is really about unlocking your potential. So if we take consultancy, for instance, and again, there is nothing at all wrong with consultancy, but a consultant will come in to the business and work with you as an individual, the organization, and there'll be a limit to their knowledge in terms of where it is and what it is that you want to achieve. If you take a mentor on, a mentor will have a limit of their knowledge in terms of their own particular ceiling. Whereas as a coach and as an executive coach, I don't have a ceiling. My only purpose as a coach is to really dive into your potential and unlock what it is that you at the moment aren't really utilizing to your full extent. And that's why coaching, in my personal opinion, far outweighs consultancy or mentoring. But both have a place, depending on what you're looking for. Our executive coaching is for executives. It's for managing directors. It's for senior leaders. It's for those sat around the boardroom table. It's those at the top end of the organization that have a wider impact on what goes on throughout the organization. So the results that you'll see over the first 30, 60, 90 days, over that first quarter of working together, very early on, you're going to start thinking differently. You're going to start to look at problems and opportunities in a different manner. You're going to start to reflect differently in terms of how you turn up. It's also going to have a positive impact in terms of how the team perceive you and the impact that you can have on the team. Direct results in the first 60 to 90 days will almost certainly follow in terms of the positive aspect and impact that you can have on the business in the various things that you're responsible for. But you'll definitely see significant shifts in engagement from the team. Our experience tells us that anything from 12 to 25% improvement into team engagement. And in terms of productivity, your productivity will start to shift. So how do we set goals and actually, make sure we're monitoring the progress that we take? Well, firstly, you set the goals. My job isn't to help you, actually set or derive what the goals are that you need to set. You're going to set the goals. The way in which we actually make sure that you achieve those goals is, my job as your coach is to make sure that what it is you're actually focusing on is actually what you want to focus on. All too often, I've seen it with coaches where they will try to focus on a particular goal without actually examining or finding out if that goal is significant, important, and actually what the organization and the individual wants to focus on. Sometimes what presents as an open opportunity isn't necessarily the root cause of what we need to focus on. So we will explore in detail what it is that you need to focus on in order to set the right goals for you and the organization. Traditionally, you will find that coaches will look at a 6 to 12-month commitment. For me, as long as you have got growth aspirations, as long as you want to develop the potential of yourself, as long as you want to scale and improve the functionality, productivity, profitability of the business, I want to be a coach. So as long as that relationship works, then I don't put a time scale on it. We've got clients that we're working with now, and we're approaching having worked with them a decade. And bearing in mind that I've been doing this now for 12 years, you get an idea that we can get some really good results. And longevity in a coaching relationship is absolutely the way forward. That said, if you want to have a 6-month relationship, then we're happy to do that, so long as there is an opportunity for you to make a decision on the long-term value. And it boils down to that ROI. You've got to see the return on investment in that for a long-term relationship to exist. So in terms of how we work, whether that's in person or online, it really is down to you. We are coaching across the globe. So we've got clients as far as Australia, in the US, and obviously we coach predominantly through Teams. or Zoom. In the same context, we have an office and a base in the Southwest, so our clients can come and have in person. And many clients choose to do a little bit of both. For us, it all works. What's important is the topic of conversation and how we move that conversation forward. So the confidentiality question is one that always comes up. Look, let me put it this way. As your coach, if we don't build a relationship on trust, then there is no coaching relationship. And in order to build a relationship on trust, then confidentiality is something that is absolutely paramount to what it is that we talk about and discuss. I don't share our conversations with anybody other than you. Your line manager, your managing director, your CEO, your chairperson, if they want to know something, then I will make sure that the conversation is had between you and I first in order to allow myself to share that. But let me be clear on one key aspect on this, and I think openness and transparency is important. If through the coaching an ethical boundary is crossed, you'll know, because I won't tolerate that. And in those circumstances, then, I see confidentiality as the impact for the organization and would talk to the appropriate people. But outside of that, and I've never experienced that, by the way, confidentiality is key. Coaching is generally right for everybody, but I have a set of 3 rules that have served me well in over 12 years of executive coaching. And they're simply this. You have to see that I'm the right coach for you, and that's your decision and choice. I have to see that you are the right coachee for me, so that you are somebody that I can work with. And collectively, we've got to see that there is a very real return on investment. And so if those 3 things stack up, then coaching will work. Take one of them away, I won't enter into the agreement. I'm not going to tell you that there is limited investment. There isn't. There is investment, because this is going to shift the focus, the drive, the approach that you have to your roles and responsibilities. And that will take a bit of time. There will be learning along the way. That will take some time. Now, the reality of this is it's invested time. So we're not looking at wasting time, we're looking at to invest your time. There will be elements that you're going to want to work on, in which case we're going to have to make sure that you carve that out of the diary. But in the same context, one of the things that is really important to recognize and remember is that in many cases, there is time that you are wasting. So the balance is going to be how we make sure that you become militant with your time, you recognize the value of your time in order to invest in your time. Now, the other question that often comes up is one of investment in terms of financially. Now, I could turn around and say it really depends on who you are, but our executive coaching starts from $1,800 a month as an investment. The reality of that is that investment can go up, and there are occasions where we will reduce that dependent on what the needs are for you as the individual and the organization. So there is a bit of negotiation to be had. But we recognize the value that we bring to an organization and are quite confident in terms of our baseline investment of £1,800 per month. So in terms of the support that is required from you and your board, maybe the CEO and the chairman, is the fact that they're investing in you. So it kind of goes as an unwritten rule. This isn't just a remedial relationship. We're not looking to just fix stuff or fix you. We're looking at unlocking potential. And in order to do that, then it's your board sees the potential in you, and hence the relationship that we have. Now, a question I don't generally get asked is, how do I choose the right coach? But I offer that in terms of the engagement. And if you're in the in the business of looking for an executive coach at the moment, I recommend go and interview 3 to 4 coaches. Go and have a conversation with 3 to 4 coaches. Go and find out whether or not they're a good fit. And then you'll find out for yourself exactly what it is that you're looking for. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. You know, as a coach, in order to change, in order to stretch, there's got to be challenge, there's got to be accountability, there's got to be responsibility. And so I bring those elements to my coaching. And so our coaching isn't about building a friendship and whether or not you like me. I'd be frank, I don't really care. What I care about is helping you get to where you need to get to and unlocking your potential. So come and have a conversation. But once you've had a conversation with us, go talk to some other coaches and then make a decision. I often get asked the question in terms of, how do you stand out? What makes me unique? Well, it's the amalgamation of my time as a coach. So I've been coaching now for over 2 decades. At the making of this video, we're coming up to around 23 years. 10 years of that I spent cutting my teeth as a coach and a master coach in the military, focused on leadership development, on performance coaching, and actually, really making sure that we were looking at some of the executive coaching for some of the leaders that I was working with at the time. That transferred, quite seamlessly across to my business when I started the coaching practice, and obviously what I've learned since over the last 12 years, 13 years of coaching. It's the experience that I bring. There's an element of methodology from my military days, the accountability. Now, don't get that confused with I'm going to turn up with a pace stick and it's going to be very directive. That's not who I am. But what I am is a very, very good coach in terms of making sure that I fully understand the circumstances, the situation, the intent, the mission of the organization, so that we can make sure that we're focusing on where you want to get to and what you want to achieve and what that means to being part of the organization. So what makes me unique? My experience. 22 years as a coach, military and out in the business world, and you'll get a taste of that. Now, the point as well that I would raise on this as the final point is the easiest way to find out whether coaching is a good fit for you is just to come along and have a complimentary coaching session. Doesn't cost anything. All you've got to do is turn up, give an hour and a half, 2 hours of your time, and I'll coach you. You'll know at the end of that session whether or not my coaching, my approach, the focus I'll have to help support and unlock your potential will be right for you.